Scuba diving is an expensive sport all across the world, but Goa gives you scuba diving plus water sports plus a boat trip plus dolphin spotting in rupees. They have spoiled the taxi guys because they've been paying premiums. There are certain set of activities which is only marketed to.
Hi, and welcome to the Travel Secrets podcast. I'm Simona Terron, your host, and today I have somebody who is an expert in one of the most popular destinations in India. This is Clyde Tellis. Hello, Clyde the guide. How are you doing today?
Hi Simona, I'm doing great. It's nice to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure, absolutely. So, Clyde is somebody who used to be in the engineering world, who was doing marketing for a lot of things which we would consider typically boring. So, we're talking industry automation, we're talking about weighing scales and all kinds of things which were very important, very needed, but then made the transition to marketing tourism. So, Clyde, tell us what it's like being a marketing guy in the tourism world and that too focused on Goa, which is where you're based, correct?
Correct. So it started where I was marketing these things, which I found boring. I'm sure a lot of people across do enjoy it, and I was traveling across India. What gave me the opportunity to come to Goa is there were industrial estates, and I was exploring Goa, and that's where I was seeing a lot that I could do in Goa, and that's how I decided why just stay, why move to the rest of India when you can be in Goa and do the best of everything. So that's how I began exploring, and as you know, right now I'm actively marketing different tours and activities in Goa.
Which I think is super exciting. And I can't wait to do a tour with you because, I always meet people in Bombay when I'm conducting tours, etc., that are heading to Goa. They're literally just passing through Bombay to get to Goa. Goa is the ultimate destination. So I'm always eager to recommend you as the guide because I've also, understood how you operate and you bring all that marketing focus, but you also got that genuine passion for helping out tourists with information, with what not to do, where to go for what you want to do. And I think the whole holistic idea of sustainable tourism being something that is very close to your heart and a very integral part of your philosophy. So, to start with that, I think the burning question Goa is definitely the most popular destination in India. We have memes about Chal Goa Jate hai, let's make a Goa plan, guys, and all of these stories. But I want to ask you what is the key thing, especially with Indian tourists, like domestic tourists, the money, the idea that Goa is a cheap destination. Now, can you please enlighten us on whether this is true, whether it's not, and why?
Okay, that's a very interesting question, and I have so much to say just to answer that because to me, cheap is subjective. Because a good amount of people or tourists that are coming to Goa, they want to get their paise vasool. So something that even might be really expensive to run has been brought to a standard which is affordable. A perfect example can be something like scuba diving.
Mm,
Scuba diving is an expensive sport all across the world. If you have to
absolutely.
look at Indian rupees, it costs absolutely like around 6 to 7,000 per person. But Goa gives you scuba diving plus water sports plus a boat trip plus dolphin spotting in 1,300 rupees.
Wow.
Is it cheap? Yes, it is cheap. Is it bad? Horribly bad. But you will get a taste of what it is.
Right.
So, what my perspective would be is that Goa has amazing things to do, things to experience. The operators have tailor made it or personalized it to suit the market that is demanding a certain price. They're not willing to pay beyond this. And that's a good chunk of the Indian market. But for those that have the spending power, there are expensive activities also. They could easily spend 15,000 a day and have a wonderful time. It can be something like a riverside picnic. You can go to Grand Island on a yacht and do snorkeling or even scuba diving for that matter. You can go take a private speedboat to the ocean and do marine wildlife exploration. It can be dolphins, birds, turtles, whatever comes to sight. Even tide pooling for that matter. It's a nice premium experience where you learn something and take back something, but not just getting drunk or just jumping into the water like a wild animal and then going back saying, yes, Goa mein maza kiya, bahut maza aaya Goa mein.
So are you saying there are categories like in every, tourism sector and almost in every industry also? So you have the base category, you have the medium sort of middle, and then you have the absolute premium, which I'm guessing are bespoke, curated, very exclusive, very private. Is that like the distinction that there's all of this available in Goa?
Yes, you have hit the right spot here. The general tourists that come to India, which we call as domestic tourists, the ones that are living in India and come to Goa for their Goa trip, there are certain set of activities which is only marketed to them. You wouldn't have any foreigner doing that activity. You wouldn't have a charter tourist coming here and doing that activity. They have another set of activities which are separate. If I have to name some of those activities, it would be having a lunch at a Indo-Portuguese house or going to a spice farm, seeing how different kinds of food is prepared, or going on a private fishing trip, catching something and then bringing it back and preparing it in a Goan uh, preparation. So
Hmm.
these are things that are curated for those who can spend and who have that spending power. I would also blame them saying that they have spoiled the taxi guys because they've been paying premiums to the taxis all around Goa and they're so used to it that they demand the same price from Indian tourists.
Right.
So as India is growing as a market, the spending power is increasing, and there are a lot of Indians that actually look forward to having a nice premium experience in Goa. So here are a new set of tourists or upper middle class or HNIs that are coming to Goa, but they have barely any options, or they do not know who to go to if they want to do something that is premium. So
Well, I think that
this is
problem
the
has been
best
solved with
opportunity.
this
Yeah.
with this video that that Clyde is the guy. I'm sorry, I interrupted you. You were saying the best opportunities?
Yes, so this is the time where a lot of people are curating new experiences, like let's say a premium Fedi tasting experience, or a premium tea tasting, or a coffee tasting with a master sommelier or a tea taster. You can do this in Goa because they have their restaurants. People from all over have come to Goa because it's a destination that attracts tourists either ways. But now you can do premium experiences being here. You don't have to just stick to those six, seven activities that have been sold the past few decades, I would say. The same activities, copy paste, nothing has changed.
Well, I'm glad things are evolving, and I feel particularly hopeful after hearing a lot of things that you've been describing that you are curating and that you are encouraging people to sign up for, which people didn't even know were available in a certain price point. So, would you like to tell us, like, if I were to plan a trip to Goa, what are the top three things that you would recommend for me, keeping in mind a sort of um, upper middle price point?
More than the price point, I would first ask you what is it that you are interested in? Knowing that you are a heritage buff, you love heritage in Mumbai, I would start with heritage more than anything, and then also take you for something that is nature related. So, heritage would be the major popular heritage spots, not your general North Goa, South Goa sightseeing. Here, you can actually learn about the architecture, learn about the Portuguese culture, as well as the stories of how they came to Goa, the different capitals during their colonization, and also the kind of food that came in because of the Portuguese, how it got inspired by uh, things that they would learn in Mozambique and then bring back to Goa. The different kinds of fruits and vegetables that have come because of the Portuguese to Goa. Bread, for that matter, has come to India because of the Portuguese, which is just normal. People have vada pav and pav bhaji, not knowing that pav was such an integral aspect of the Portuguese, which came to Goa and then spread across India. So I would go around that narrative to first show you different architecture, interesting stories, legends of how put the Portuguese took over, beautiful monuments that are there, houses, and meeting house owners because they will tell you what each item is in their house and where it's come from. Back in the day, the trading was so rampant. I wouldn't say in a bad way. It was a lot. People would trade from Macau. You had people from Mozambique, even from Europe. So you had multiple different artifacts, which some of which might be illegal right now to transport, but back in the day it was freely available. So ivory,
Yeah.
cutlery made of ivory, a coconut called coco de mer, which was from seashells. It's maybe 5 times the size of my head. It's that big, and people have it in their home, just lying there as a showpiece. They would have treasure chests, or they would have a cupboard with multiple ways to open to find secret drawers. So these are
Wow.
things that have been passed down for generations. Maybe the skill set has come from the Portuguese and it is being prepared in Goa. So these are things that you get when you visit houses. So this is what I would show you. And then once you get fed up of heritage, maybe take you out into nature to spot birds or crocodiles or explore the mangrove wildlife, maybe tide pooling, and then maybe a boat trip to Grand Island and take you snorkeling to see what's underwater. I think that would be enough for one quick trip, and then you will say, I want more and come back again to me.
As you can see, everyone, this is exactly how Clyde operates. He gets straight to the heart of it. You think he's smiling and chatting with you, but he's actually assessing your personality. And that's how he arrives at what do you think you want to do in Goa? And then he'd figure it out, plan it out, get the itinerary, and you're going to be smiling all the way. So thank you for these wonderful insights, Clyde. Who is this guy you need to know more about? You have to watch the following episodes. But more than anything, Clyde the Guide makes Goa approachable, accessible, and for me, most important, super fun. I know that I'm safe. I know that I've got everything planned out and that my requirements are going to be catered to. All the criteria that I establish, I want to do this, I want to do that. Clyde has already gone 10 steps ahead and figured out, no, no, no. Actually, what you might want to do is also this. And I'm like, oh, yeah. So, welcome to that experience when you meet with Clyde the Guide. And thank you for your precious time today. There's going to be more episodes coming up with his expertise, insider tips, and insights, which I think are very important when you travel. So that you can, after that, let go and not worry about anything and just have a great time. I had a really good time today. Thank you, Clyde, for these insights, and I'll see you in the next episode.
See you. I'm excited as much as you to share wonderful things about Goa. See you soon.
Thank you.